Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you can hear me. Let me know. Hopefully, the sound is wonderful. We're going to find out here in a moment, though, aren't we? And if I need to lower that sound, also let me know. Because we're starting something fun and something new and something all a bit different. Now, of course, it is my hope that everything is working properly. Now, I should have captions here. If I don't, let me know. But I should have captions. I should have some good sound. We're going to find out how all that is working, how all of it is going. But welcome to Book Night. Oh, and as you can see, we're in a slightly different space than usual. We're actually on a browser. Isn't that wild? Isn't that different? We're on a browser right now, looking at a story, and that's pretty fun, and it's pretty interesting, and it's pretty different, and I'm kind of excited to share all of this with all of you. So tonight I'm going to be talking about Kindle Vella. We are having a book night, but not just any kind of book night. We're going to be talking about serialized stories, and we're going to be talking about a platform which is only about a year old, but has already had so much to do and so much to give to all of the different varieties and forms of writers that are out there. Now, there's a lot of different types of writers, and there's a lot of different types of books, and there's a lot of different types of stories, and there's a lot of different ways for us to interact. It's amazing. But, I'm already getting well ahead of myself. So let's just cover a couple of things really quick that are pretty important. The first one is, obviously, we're here to talk about this particular platform, Kindle Vella, and what it is, how to use it, and what's available there. And since it's only about a year old, it hasn't been around all that long, you may not have heard of it yet. And if you haven't heard of it yet, that's entirely understandable, It's new, it's different, it's exciting. I find it exciting. I find it intriguing. I find it mysterious. But why? Why is it mysterious? Why is it so new? Why is it so different, and what makes it unique for authors and readers alike? And make no mistakes, it is unique for all of us out there who are authors, and all of you out there who are readers, and vice versa, all of you out there who are authors who'd like to get in it, and all of us who are readers, because I'm a reader. I love to read. I love to dive into big books and new stories and new information, and it's awesome. It's so awesome. Before I get moving too far along, though, I realize I'm already a little bit bouncy. I'm already really excited. Let me take just 1 second. Even though I'm up here in the corner, I'm not really out there in front of you directly. Quick visual descriptor: I have long brown hair, glasses. I'm wearing a black shirt with a skeleton pattern on it today, and my silver bracelet, and I'm here in my little living room space with this wonderful dark blue lighting. It's fun. I like this lighting style, and I enjoy the way that it really captures, I don't know, this atmosphere, this marvelous atmosphere. It's just so, I don't know, it's unique. It has something to offer, something fun. Oh, I'm obviously excited in a whole bunch of different ways, and that, I mean, it goes without saying, right? I'm excited. There's a lot to be excited about. Let's talk really quick, though. Obviously, writing itself has changed in so many different ways over the years, and especially over the last 20 years, the way we actually can access readers and books. In the last 20 years, the number of different online platforms for authors and for readers has grown exponentially. I mean, obviously, Amazon is a large cornerstone in that world of readers. They're huge, and there's no denying they're huge. What Amazon has done in just its means by which it's given us access to a vast, vast library. You can't deny the power in that alone. They're getting books right now out to people all over the world, and even though on occasion they're not always doing it in the best way, they are still doing it. They are still opening up the floodgates to allow us access to hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of new books. Maybe millions. I don't have those numbers, but honestly, maybe it's millions. And a long time ago, I got involved with KDP. And if you're not aware of what that is, KDP is a self-publishing platform available through Amazon. So I've released ebooks and paperbacks and a number of different stories through KDP. It's been tremendous. It's been absolutely tremendous. But then we got Kindle Vella. And Kindle Vella is incredibly unique. There are things like it. There are definitely things out there like Kindle Vella, but not in the exact way it does things. So let's hop over here, actually. We're going to open up the Vella library really quick, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what Kindle Vella is, what it does, and why it's so intriguing. So obviously you can see some stories right here. On this front page, we have our top faved stories. That's not my top faved stories, that's just the top faved stories on the platform. So what Kindle Vella is a serialized story archive. It is a library of episodes, of stories coming out in bits and pieces, little drips at a time. And that's fascinating. But it's also sort of a social media platform, not in the way a traditional social media platform could be considered, but it does have a social media aspect to it. And what do I mean by that? Well, Kindle Vella stories have some things in common with, say, your Instagram feed. You can like episodes. You can follow stories. You can favorite. You can give those little thumbs ups. But on the surface, that's only just part of what makes this, part of what makes this platform. Another huge thing is that Kindle Vella actually offers authors the chance after episodes to do things like leave notes, comments, even put polls up for their readers. And that's just so... it's interactive. It's interactive. That's what it is. And this interactive quality of Kindle Vella is one of the things that makes it so intriguing. Now, I've just been going on, and I realize I haven't even stopped yet. I haven't even stopped. I'm just enamored by this at the moment. I'm absolutely enamored with what is possible on Kindle Vella. So I'm going to go ahead and let's do a little exploration here really quick. So obviously you can see here like these top favorited stories. These are the authors here, which are doing just amazing. And right below that, look at this. We have trending stories. That's interesting too, because you can see what's trending, what's up. And then there's these stories you may like. And it's just going ahead and it's showing us these really popular stories here. And you can go ahead, you can search around in here. But we already have all of this fun stuff, so it's prompting us to get involved. And after that, obviously, here's we see these trending stories. So these ones really popular right now. We have Elven Heartbound by Elizabeth Ashe, Shadow Glen Witches and Wolves. And this one actually tells you right here, it updates on Mondays. So that's really fun. We already know when the story updates. And that's by, looks like Cyan Sky. I like that name. That's fun. And over here we have Club X, Vampire in the Closet. So again, we have this, and then we have this here. It looks like Season 1. That's what my mind thinks of when I see S1. So that's just interesting. And it also makes sense because Vella is about episodic, serialized stories. So it makes sense that authors might be releasing their stories in seasons, because you have episodes, and then that lends itself quickly to seasons. We're going to go down a little bit further here, and here's a list of completed stories. So these are shows, essentially, and I'm just going to talk about it that way. These are the shows that you can read, that all their episodes are available. These are done. So that makes it really interesting. We're going to be able to just go through these and finish because they're done updating. Again, really fun. Just look at all of that. All right, and then look a little further down, and what do we have here? We have popular tags. So we can actually see what's really popular right now, what's really doing well on Kindle Vella. We have like romance and fantasy and adventure and love and magic and mystery and steamy. So just a lot of stuff there. Gives us the opportunity to look at what's big right now. And apparently, this is just fun. Female protagonist, werewolf, horror. We have all of these fun tags. So you're going to actually be able to find what's really doing well very quickly. And of course, right below that, we have featured. Oh, that's fun. Featured. All of these. keep going down, we have recently added stories. Very cool also, because you're going to be able to find what's new. What is new? What is here? So if you're just looking for something new, you can find it. Recently added stories. And, look at this. A lot of these, just a few episodes. So we can really dive into and find this wonderful new stuff, new material. I like that. We're going to go a little further down, and then regularly updated stories. So these ones, regularly updated, and as you can actually see, there's like 53 episodes, 38 episodes, 43, 103. Wow, that one will take a while to read. But these are regularly updated. So right off the bat, if we look at this from kind of a social media style perspective, when you get into the Kindle Vella library, you're going to be up to date. You're going to be up to date. It's going to be fun. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to scroll up for a moment. So these are previously viewed. Now obviously, the stories that I have available here are on my previously viewed, because, I like to check out how my stuff looks. I like to see how my stories are, how they look and whatnot. So I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 stories going on Kindle Vella right now. But I also checked out this one. This is the marriage auction, which is the #1 story on Kindle Vella. And of course, I'm going to check that out because it's big. But I do check out various things to see what's on here, and I like to look around. So I've been doing that. Like, look, what's here? Let's check it out. What's going on? I want to know. Of course I want to know. I want to be able to see what's happening in this awesome platform, and I want to be able to connect with it. I had to have a sip of my drink really quick, because I know I'm just talking along. But why am I so excited about Kindle Vella? I mean, that's an excellent question, isn't it? Why am I excited about this? What does it mean to me? And what am I getting out of it? That's a great question, and it's huge. So let's talk about it for a second. As I previously stated, obviously I've been writing for a long time. In fact, I've been writing since I was a little kid. I've been writing for the majority of my life, over 2/3 of my life. I've been writing definitely more than 2/3 of my life I've been writing. And I've been getting invested in creativity and just telling stories. So I saw Kindle Vella, and I had questions. I had thoughts. I had curiosities. And amongst all of my curiosities were big curiosities in regards to what is this? So let's actually talk about what it is. Let's take a peek. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab one of my stories here. This is actually the newest story that I've just started, Kindly Can We Go? And first things first, you can see there's episodes. We can actually look here. Hold on, let me scroll up. We can look here and we can see there's 5 episodes. I actually have 7 thumbs up. That's awesome. That's just amazing. But what is an episode? Well, you can actually see down here a list of episodes. And as you can see, I've been checking out like my own work here. I want to see what it's like. Down here you have the little follow, so you can follow right away as soon as you check out a story. But an episode, when it comes to Kindle Vella, is 600 to 5,000 words. I'm aware that that is not really a lot, is it? 600 to 5,000 words. Kindle Vella is designed to be easy to read. The format lends itself to chapters, short chapters. You open an episode, you read it, and you just move to the next one. This is bingeable content. In every sense of the word, Kindle Vella is it is bingeable, and that's one of the many highlights of it. It is intended for short form reading, it's intended for serialized storytelling, and it's intended to be a way to open us up to what could be what you sit down on your lunch break and you just read something. You have a few minutes before you start your workday, you can catch up on your stories. Here, you're sitting home at for dinner, you read a story. You pop out for coffee, you read a story. So that's one of the things. This is serialized content, it's episodic content, but it's also short form bingeable content. And it's pretty easy to see, at least for me as an author, that this is really for rapid fire stories. Now, can you have long form stories here? Most certainly. I mean, once you start getting up to 5,000 words an episode, these are not short reads. These become longer reads. When they're 600 words, you sit there and just gobble it up. But it also means something else. And we're going to look at this in relation to television and movies. Now, if you think about a movie, a film, you have an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. If you're talking about something really more epic, it might be close to 3 hours to tell a story. A beautiful, huge, amazing story. There's a drawback, of course, to a film. So you only have that 1.5 to 3 hours to tell your story. Now let's think about television. TV series, you might only have 30 minutes to tell a story. So everything that happens within that story, it has to happen quickly. It has to happen in double time. So certain relationship aspects can be exaggerated. Sleight of hand can be used to make things just jump. But you have an entire season, maybe you have 3 or 4 seasons to tell stories. And that's what jumps out at me about this episodic storytelling. As someone who's written several books and some short stories as well, I see the innate benefit of Kindle Vella as the same benefits of a serialized TV show. We can actually tell multiple stories with the same characters all within a single story. Your episodes become just that, episodes. Something happens. And you can go about this in a traditional way if you want. You can go ahead and lay out an entire chapter book style book with 20 or 30 short chapters. And it'll be awesome. Make no doubts about it, it'll be awesome. But you can also go ahead and plan like what could be a 4 or 5 season TV show on paper. Well, actually, in this case, in the palm of someone's hand, on their phone or on their tablet. They're going to be able to enjoy their characters for long and sometimes complicated or convoluted adventures. If you're doing a romance, you can go ahead and you can use all the romantic tropes you want, and you can shorthand everything and build layer upon layer of intricate mess. And it's beautiful. Now let's talk about some of the downsides of Kindle Vella. Kindle Vella is a pay-as-you-go system. I definitely see this as kind of a downside. Not in the way one would expect. See, I don't mind the idea of pay-as-you-go. I subscribe to streaming services. I subscribe to multiple different things. I use certain software that I have to pay as I go. So every month I'm paying in on it so I can continue using it. So there's nothing wrong with that. What I would say is the actual downside of Kindle Vella's pay-as-you-go format is that when you're actually in it, what you're doing is you're paying for one-time usage. So every time you read an episode, you have to unlock it with tokens. However, you do not have to unlock the first 3 episodes of a story, which I do like. So within this framework, the first 3 episodes of any story are just available. And it's only after the 3rd episode of a story that you have to start unlocking them with your tokens. But there's kind of an upside to this too, because these tokens are equivalent to a few cents. So, if you read a 100 episode story, you're still only paying the same cost as if you bought a book. You're just paying it over a longer period of time. So that's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. And of course, if anyone has any questions while I'm going through all of this, please feel free to let me know. Because I know right now I'm going, but there's a lot to talk about here, and there's a lot that I find just unbelievably interesting. Oh, and of course, they make it pretty easy to share stories. So you can, you share it straight to Facebook, Twitter, email, or just copy the link. So that also just awesome. So I just looked at a story, and there you go. I've now just shared it. It's sent out to all of you, depending on where you're joining me. And of course, I will go back and I will add the links in for all of these stories depending on the platform you're on, I might have to add it later. But you can at least see the title of this one, Kindly Can We Go. If you're with me on Twitch, you're going to see that link like right off the bat. Hello over there. Welcome. We have the wonderful, the amazing Silver Fox in our chat. Go ahead, grab this. Alright, so obviously I've already opened up a bunch of stuff here. I have 4 stories here. I would like to talk about a couple of other things that I find really interesting. So I'm actually going to open up this right here, and this is my story dashboard. Why is this so cool? Well, for starters, it actually is going to notify me the last time I updated my episodes right here. You can actually see that right next to the details. Pardon me. So I'm actually able to look right here, and I can see when I last modified a story, how many episodes are live. This will actually also let me know, and it's not here because I haven't had any get marked, but if any episodes need to be reviewed or they've been unpublished, it'll actually tell me those episodes right here next to the live count. Over here, we have create a new episode, manage your story, unpublish your story. So you already have so much control right there. So much control. But I have all this. I'm not going to scroll through everything because I don't want to show off too much right now. But we're going to jump onto manage your story. In manage your story, you actually have the option, so I can actually edit the story details here. I can add story tags. I could update the categories. You can add additional authors. So if you actually wanted to release stories with a co-author, you can do that. You just add the authors and everything. Isn't it? It is so cool. It is so cool. So yeah, I can edit my story details. I also have my ASIN. And if you're not familiar with publishing, your ASIN is an identification number, and books, they'll have an ISBN, and that ISBN is the code on the back. So when you see the barcode on the back of a book, let me grab really quick. Right here. I'm just gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab this. It knocked my. So this is a copy of the Complete Tales of Edgar Allan Poe, gotten for me by my bestie. Now on the back, there's above the barcode. You should be able to see that. That's the ISBN. I know you won't be able to read it on camera, but if you look at the back of any book, it has an ISBN, and that is a unique catalog number for a book. And that's super wonderful, super important, and it actually is how, published works are tracked, in a way. So just short, quick explanation, but an ISBN is one of the ways that books are tracked, so unique stories, everything like that. Every story or every published book has an ISBN, and then books and then electronic stories, if they have an ASIN, it's the same thing, but it's for an electronic version. So you can actually go ahead and you can see your ASIN on your published work. And then you come down here. And then once you get into this, This is actually just really fun, really cool. Let me explain to you the episode dashboard. So here we can create a new episode. We can resort ascending, descending order for our episodes. You can go back in and you can edit an episode after you're done with it. But you can also look at other things. So every episode ends up getting a unique ASIN as well, because they are treated like sub-units of the whole. So each one has its own unique identification number. Now you're also able to see which episodes are currently live, if it needs to go under review, if it is under review, if you've edited it and it's republishing, that'll display here. Awesome. Quick, easy, you look in. If you've just put a bunch of episodes in, you're going to see whether or not it's published. Is it live? Can people read this? Right next to that, you're actually going to see the number of tokens it takes to unlock that episode. So the token counts are related to the number of words. So the more words you have in an episode, the more tokens it takes. I believe that particular episode, Memories and Escape, is somewhere around almost 2,000 words. So it's 21 tokens to unlock it. Right next to there, we have last published and then first published. And this is really important for you to keep track of. So say you go ahead, you publish your episode, but then you edit it. Well, when you edit it, it's going to show the last published. So if we come down here to episode 3 here for Then the News Happened, you can see last published September 2nd, first published August 30th. That's going to show me when I edited that. So that's just really super important as a creator to be able to track these things yourself. Let's go ahead though. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go back to my library. Now, once you get to your library for Kindle Vella, you're going to have your Start Story button there. Also, very useful. But let's go ahead and I'm just going to click so you can see what this looks like. When you click Create New Episode, which we're going to do right now, you actually get this really fun interface. So here you can see episode titles. They are optional. If you want to have every episode that you release as a number, you can. If you want a wonderful little title for every single episode, okay, easy. But you do have a limit of 100 characters, so you only have 100 characters with which to title your episode. Right below there, you have the actual episode text interface, and you have two choices with the episode text interface. Choice number 1 is you can actually import episode text in the form of a doc or a docx. So more or less, you're going to have to use Microsoft Word. There are other things like Libra that you can export doc files with. So if you use Ubuntu or a Linux-based system, you could actually use Libra and export .docs and then upload those for your writing. But for the most part, you're kind of limited. I know that there's other ways to create doc files, and so that is a choice. But say you're doing everything in a notes program, or maybe you're using a Trello board, or you have a Google Doc that you're using. Well, if you are using something like that, you can actually then lift all the text and you can import it right here into an open text editor. You can just drop your text into this open text editor and you can actually see that you have your basic formatting things here: bold, italic, underline, strike through, bullets. You can your justification is it right hand, left hand, center. So you have all of these great options, and is it the best text editor? No, it's not by a long shot, but it's a choice, and you have a choice. So you could actually craft your entire episode within the text editor here. Or you could write your episodes on a Trello board, or you could use Google Docs, or you could be using like an integrated notepad on your phone. So realistically, you could be writing your story or your episodes anywhere. You could use a speech to text on your phone and actually just talk to your phone and write an entire episode that way, and then import all that text into the text editor that exists within Kindle Vella. After that, you do have the choice to add author notes, connect directly with your readers by sharing additional episode details, or behind-the-scenes thinking. So that's a choice. And after that, you can see that episode poll. So author notes and the episode poll are optional, but now the only thing I'll say is with the episode poll, you have to put an episode poll in at the time of publication. You can't do it after you've already published the episode. I haven't started using polls, but I'm considering it because it just sounds interesting. It's a wonderful way to connect with your readers, and it's going to give immediate feedback to you, the author, as soon as someone actually uses your poll. You can see you can actually set up your own question and choices, and you can even set up a closing date. So say a month after your episode releases, you're closing that, cool. Or if you want to go ahead and put it as 4 days, 5 days, whatever's going to work for you. And then you can actually go ahead and open a preview so you can see how your episode's going to look once it publishes. And it's going to let you know ahead of time how many tokens are going to be needed to unlock this episode. So you're going to have the ability to know before you go live, is this too many tokens? This is not enough tokens? Is this pretty average? Does this seem reasonable to me? Maybe you're like, okay, I'd rather cut the episode length down to make it less tokens. Or, you know what, maybe I can combine 2 episodes I've already written together because it's totally worth it for my reader. This is just a great way to get an understanding of what you're doing, get an understanding of what's there, and then pop it out, just... And also know, like, every time someone unlocks this, for the business end, know how much money you're potentially going to make when someone unlocks that episode. And then you can actually also schedule your releases. So, say I wrote an episode up right now, I could actually schedule to release in 3 days, in a month. So if you're a really hardcore, dedicated, like nose to the grindstone writer, if you write up 20 episodes, you could actually put them all here within your episode, within your story. When you manage your story, you could put them there and you could have them scheduled to release. So no having to think too hard. You just get it done, schedule their releases, and away you go. Now let's go back to our Kindle Vella library. All right. But you can see I have a few stories, so I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to grab 30 Days in the Apocalypse with Dr. Ciencio Magnifico. Now this story here has 4 episodes. It's a whole lot of fun. And it's, I've described it before on some of my live streams, talked about it, but we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab my own little headline here. Internet celebrities, clout, product endorsements, dystopia, monsters, and a guy with a really misleading name. Welcome to the end of the world. Make yourself at home, turn on your camera, and make the chaos work for you. So this is a whole lot of fun. I had so much fun while I was creating this concept, and generally I just find it hilarious and exciting, and also a wonderful piece of satire, because 30 Days in the Apocalypse is taking place mid-apocalypse. The apocalypse is here. It's happening. There's zombies, there's monsters, there's aliens, there's robots, there's societal collapse, but somehow we still have the internet, and we still have influencers, and we have internet celebrities, and we have e-girls and e-boys, and this drive to find sponsors and to find endorsements and to make a name for yourself and make money cracking zombie skulls on a live stream. I can't express how much I find this concept funny, hilarious, and exciting. And I really like it, and I will be releasing more episodes. I know it's been a little while since I've released a new episode, but I will be releasing new episodes, so don't you worry. Oh. And actually, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make sure you have a link for that one so you can go check it out. We can dig into so much here. Now, of course, 30 Days in the Apocalypse, I have 4 episodes, but we have 11 thumbs up. Wow, that's amazing. Not only did we have that, we have a 5-star rating because there is 1 review, so let's get our review. Let's check it out. All right, so here we have this wonderful review from the Silver Fox herself. Funny, easy to read, and I want to read more. Gotta read, so funny, loving the characters, super relatable. Oh, and then we have all these fun emojis. But happy Saturday to you. Thank you for being here. But so you can see now, like, you get a review. This is immediate feedback from your audience, because even though there's only 4 episodes for 30 Days in the Apocalypse, the story isn't done. You can start getting reviews immediately. So this is another reason why this is so useful to creators, to authors. It's just remarkably valuable, unbelievably important that we find these ways to get in touch with our audiences. So obviously, in a lot of ways, I've been talking to you as the creator, as the author, as what about this is just so much fun. Do you have this on Audible? All right, I will address that really quick. Thank you for the question, Veg. Now, currently, authors cannot put their Kindle Vella stories on Audible. Can't do it. I do have one book on Audible, which is In Absentia, my novella series. Well, it's the first book for the novella series. So I do have a book on Audible, but currently creators on Kindle Vella, the stories we have here, we can't put on Kindle Vella. But the rules for what we can do here are opening up. Now, originally when Kindle Vella came out, you couldn't have your story anywhere other than Kindle Vella. Now, after a story is put out, 30 days after a story is put out, we do now have permission to go ahead and publish those through KDP. So I will be able to publish these stories when they're finished as ebooks and I believe paperbacks and hardcovers if they're long enough. Alright, as a truck driver, that would work great for me, listen and drive. I completely understand, Veg. For our modern life, Audible is amazing. It's amazing. And I'm hoping that will be a choice. Now, here is one thing. When these stories are completed, and then I can add them to KDP, move them from Kindle Vella, and then put them on KDP. I can have them both places, but only after a story is completed and only 30 days after final upload. Once I can put it on KDP, then I will be able to make it available through Audible. So I'll say that if things go right, maybe next year, all of these stories that I have on Kindle Vella will be available on Audible. Here's to hoping, but I'm not going to say for certain that's the timeline. It really depends, because all the creators who are using Kindle Vella right now, it's an absolutely brand new thing. I mean, we're a year in, and Vella has been awesome in so many ways. But I'm still waiting to see what's going to be happening with the future of this platform, and waiting to see, are they going to adjust the rules more? Because they already have adjusted the rules to make it okay for us to publish these stories on KDP after a certain amount of time. And beforehand, it had to be a Vella exclusive. So things are changing, things are adapting. We're all going to find out in due time. And, maybe I'm going to be sitting here next year, and all of these stories will be available on Vella and in the Kindle library and as paperbacks and on Audible. We'll find out. I agree, that's a marvelous question. Now, just going to go ahead and I'm going to say one of the other really cool features here is the way the payouts work. So I'm not going to grab my payment page on Kindle Vella. I don't want to make that visible right now, but I will explain how it works for my understanding, and I'm still learning. So there's essentially two routes of payment. One is unlocked episodes. So the minute someone comes down and say you're going to read episode 4 of this story, it's locked, you're going to unlock it with tokens, I'm going to make money off that. You've unlocked it, I just made money. Now, another way that authors are making money is through something called bonuses, and Vella has been giving out bonuses. And now the last article I saw, 1 month, they actually released over $500,000 in bonuses. And I think that was only a few months ago. So all the authors on Vella are getting these bonuses, and it doesn't look currently like there's any plans for Vella to stop giving out these bonuses. But how do the bonuses work? Well, they have not been super forthcoming with how those bonuses work. But there are some big indicators of how they work, and one of them is in likes, favorites, and converting readers. So you share your Vella link, and then someone joins Vella and gets tokens, their first 200 tokens for free. and you've converted them and they read your stuff, you're going to get a bonus for that. At least that's the way it's actually looking. And I've been watching a lot of interviews and listening to a lot of interviews and reading kind of about how this is working. And most people are agreeing that, when we get someone to come over to Vella and start reading our stuff and they get their bonus 200 tokens for just starting, you don't have to spend any money. Here's 200 tokens. When people do that, it is strongly indicated that those new readers are going into the bonus calculation. Another thing that appears to be part of the bonus calculation is, are you regularly uploading new stories, new episodes, and are you doing, are you really providing additional value and additional content for the platform? Are you regularly doing this? Are you a valuable member of our creator community? So that is looking like another way that these bonuses are calculated. And so far, I've been getting bonuses almost every month that I've been signed up to Kindle Vella as an author. So that's just awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Now, am I getting a lot of money? No. I'm getting like $10 usually. But I'm still getting these bonuses. So I'm still doing something right. And that's how I'm going to look at it. Now, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to open this again. I do have other stories here. We're going to check these out too, because I want to try my hand at a few different things, and this allows me flexibility as an author, as a creator. I'm going to copy this one and share it with everybody really quick. Get this here. There we go. But this is Daydreams, a lady-to-lady love story. I do not know how to write romance. Actually, let me correct that. I'm not really familiar with writing romance, so I wanted to try. I wanted to try my hand at romance. I wanted to try my hand at romantic stories, and this is my opportunity to do so. And that's another wonderful thing about Kindle Vella, is you have a chance to work outside of your normal genre. I normally write fantasy stories, kind of horror stories, things that are kind of grimdark and like sometimes it's like watching a Grindhouse movie play out on a sheet of paper. So I have this very intense writing style. But Kindle Vella is actually giving me the option to explore other aspects of myself. And I love writing poetry, so I have kind of that understanding of a different way of thinking and a different way of approaching things and expressing my more intimate and my more soft side. So thanks to Kindle Vella, I can actually start a romance story and I can see how people are going to respond to it. I only have 2 episodes up, so I'm not going to make any money off this one just yet. But what I am going to be able to do is I'm going to build up my ability to discuss, to explore, to grow. And that's one of the great things too. So if you are a writer, you're going to be able to grow as an author, being able to explore new styles of storytelling. So there's another huge benefit. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab the last one here. And that is The Road of Empty Thrones. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab this right here. I'm going to copy that. Because I want to be able to share all of these with all of you. Really put it out here so that you're able to check out all of these stories. Yes, I I want you to read my stories. I want these to be out there, and I want to gain new readers, but I also want to explore myself. clear my throat out. I have a very dry throat tonight. Now, The Road of Empty Thrones, this is a fantasy story, and it's intended to be an action story, but this is getting closer to what I normally do in the means of fantasy, of wide worlds, of kind of a mythological background. And The Road of Empty Thrones currently only has one episode, so this is like super new. It doesn't have much yet, but it already has 2 thumbs up, so like, wow. And that's part of the great fun and exploration that I'm able to do here. So we're going to come back over to this one, which is my newest story with the most episodes, Kindly Can We Go? Because we're going to talk about it for just a moment. Now, I did review the rules for Kindle Vella, and, as long as none of the material for these is freely available anywhere, I can share just about anything I want. So that's great. And it also means that I'm able to show you all this stuff and talk about these stories and hopefully get you interested in them. Kindly Can We Go? This is also very close to what I normally do, because it is fantasy, but it's urban fantasy. So it's similar in some veins to my novellas as opposed to my novels. So urban fantasy, it takes place very much in the modern day. Cell phones, jobs, apartments, streaming services, all of that. And it has an underpinning of mystery, an underpinning of mild terror, horror, kind of thriller horror, not like intense horror. So I will put that out. It's not any sort of intense horror. It is kind of psychological, and there's a thriller aspect to it, but it's also an exploration of friendship. And that's a huge portion of Kindly Can We Go? And it focuses on 2 characters, Kindly and Lacey. They're women, they're friends, and Kindly, she lives alone. She kind of has this strong desire to be attached to other people, to be attached to someone. She wants a relationship. She wants something fulfilling, something reciprocal. But she's not great at it. She's not really good at being in relationships. And her friend Lacey ends up getting evicted from her apartment and needs a place to stay, so Kindly actually lets her come and stay with her. And that's our launching point into this story, into what's going to be this wonderful new tale. Now, because it is a story about friendship, primarily, and also primarily a fantasy story, we get to do fun stuff in it. I get to do fun stuff in it. And because Kindle Vella lends itself so well to episodic storytelling, serialized storytelling, but also shorthand storytelling, every episode I can roll from action to moment, and it's awesome. It's so freeing in so many ways, but it also means I have to stretch my writer muscles, my brain muscles, just try new things. I have to explore. Now, I'm going to say right now, I totally want you to check out these stories, and I want your feedback. I want to hear your opinions. I want to see your reviews, and I want the chance to know what you think about the platform too. And that's another big one, because I'm coming here as a creator, And as a creator, I want to know, does this platform seem easy to you? Do you enjoy the experience? Do you think you'd read stories on Kindle Vella more regularly as I'm putting out more and more stories and more episodes? I also want to know how it translates for you as a reader. What are its upsides? What are its downsides? Just really look at all these things. And I most certainly want your reviews, and I definitely want you following my stories and giving them thumbs ups, because that also helps me get found by more readers. But honesty is a huge thing here. So I definitely want to know from anyone who starts using Kindle Vella and checking out these stories how the experience is for you. That would be amazing to be able to get that feedback from you and to see what you think, how you feel, all this other stuff. Make it truly interactive for all of us. I am sorry, my throat has just been so dry tonight. Now, when it comes to self-publication, there are so many ways to go, and there's so much to do. You can go through things, I believe there's one platform called Medium, and then there's all of these other creative websites. I can't think of everything right now. You could just make yourself a blog site and put everything there, or you could start a private Patreon or a buy me a coffee, and you could publish that way. But there's no denying that there is a huge power when it comes to Amazon and their Kindle properties. Whether that's KDP, whether that's Kindle Unlimited, or here now with Kindle Vella, there's a lot of power here, and there's a lot of visibility, and it's a wonderful source to do this. Now, if you're interested in doing something like self-publishing, obviously I'm going to recommend you do as much homework as possible. Do as much homework as you can. But I also will definitely recommend trying out something like Kindle Vella if you're looking to try self-publishing, and maybe you don't feel comfortable trying to put out an entire novel all at once. Maybe you want to release your story slowly, one chapter, one episode at a time, maybe one every month, one every week, and then seeing how people respond. It's definitely very exploratory, and there's definitely a lot you can learn, a lot you can gain, and a lot that remains to be seen as Vella adapts and grows further. And if I can find just one more thing. I know, I have to share so much. So much. I'm actually going to go ahead and share just one more thing for today. Sorry, I'm bumping that microphone. I bet that sounds awful. Oof. There we go. I'm actually going to be sharing something like really special right now. And just go ahead and grab this. All right, so I'm just sharing something really special right now, and that is a link to an awesome network and community that has started and is about to take off, and I know it's gonna like explode. It is. It's gonna be enormous and so much fun. And let's go ahead. I want to make sure that you can see this because this is just great. So we're just gonna drop that right there. Oh goodness. So here we go. This is my last thing that I'm gonna share with everybody, and I've just shared a link that's gonna be somewhere nearby. But I want to talk to you about focus on growth, which I think is going to be like absolutely huge and enormously fun and such a wonderful experience. So this is my last thing I'm going to share for the day, and then we're going to wrap it up. So Focus on Growth is a live stream community that has been begun by the amazing DJ Durante of Silver Fox Talks, and it's looking phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal, and I have gotten in already and jumped on board because I'm a live streamer, and there's so much I don't know about live streaming. And there's so much that I have yet to learn. And there's so much I have to learn also about accessibility and about how to put out my own promotions and so much stuff. Now, DJ has just begun this, so I'm going to suggest that if you want to live stream, that you hop over there, that you check out this community, that you see everything that there is there just for what you can learn, what's offered, and you will not regret it. DJ is an amazing teacher, an amazing coach, an amazing live streamer. So you should definitely go over there and check out Focus on Growth live stream community. It's available on Mighty Networks, and I cannot recommend enough the immense wisdom that DJ has to offer. When it comes to live streaming, when it comes to accessibility, and when it comes to just how to present yourself and the kind of tools and tech you need. Go check out Focus on Growth. And definitely get involved because it's going to go so well. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I can't wait till everything gets rolling because I'm just looking forward to getting in there and learning and interacting with everyone in the community. It'll be so much fun. Do yourself a favor, get out there, get involved, and be awesome. Be awesome. Now, I know normally we run a little bit longer than this, but I'm going to be ending this early today. I've had so much fun talking about Kindle Vella with all of you. And I hope that you check out my stories. I hope that you check out everything that there is to offer on Kindle Vella. And if you start checking out stories, make sure that you're leaving thumbs ups, that you're liking, that you're following, and that you are making sure to leave those reviews. Leave those reviews. And you are so welcome. And it is informative. I went into this today thinking, we're just going to talk fiction and fun. No, I actually ended up going and showing all of you so much in relation to how Kindle Vella works. So I hope it helps you. And Thank you so much. Thank you, Silver Fox. Just again, definitely check out the Focus on Growth link in the chat. Click on that. Go check that out. And check out my stories. However, I am gone for today, so take care, be excellent, and I'll see you all again real soon. All right. Bye, everybody.